Hello everyone. Today I will talk about adding texture to your illustrations in Adobe Photoshop. Surely there are many methods available, but for a beginner tutorial like this, I wanted to show you two different methods. My first method will be creating and using patterns. I wanted to create a typical metallic pattern. First, I create this diamond shape. I simply use the elliptical lasso tool, but when I create my first ellipse, I press Alt and Shift at the same time to only select the intersection area when I create another ellipse with my lasso tool. When I have the shape I wanted, I fill the area. Now I want to add a gradient to have a metallic look. I double click on my layer to open the layer styles menu and click on gradient overlay. Now this is what I wanted, but sure, by clicking on the gradient here, you can change your colors. You can click here, and from these boxes you can choose your colors like this. From scale, you can change the transition effect of your gradient, or you can change the angle from here. And there are many styles available. So this is the gradient I wanted, but I want to change the angle of the shape. But when I do that, as you can see, the gradient stays the same. This is because I use the layer styles. So I have to right click on my layer and click rasterize layer style to get rid of the layer style. Now I can change its position freely. I create duplicates of this shape, but I want to have the same distance between them. So if I select all the layers that I want to align and then click on this little icon up here, Photoshop automatically arranges the distance equally. For you to see it better, I repeat this, I click here and it moves where it should be. I create a rectangle for my pattern and arrange the positions of my shapes. When I want to duplicate my layers, I use the Alt key. When my pattern is ready, I select the area with my rectangular marquee tool and click Edit and then click Define Pattern. Now Photoshop saves this as a pattern. I select the area on my illustration on where I want to use this pattern, and with Ctrl J from my old illustration I make a new layer. Then on this layer I go to my layer style window again, and this time click on pattern overlay. From this pattern menu I can find my pattern, but it looks so small, so I go to the layer style again, and from this scale slider I increase the scale of the pattern. Now let's talk about a different method now. Maybe the most common method is using custom brushes. When I click on my brush panel, you can see that I have lots of different brushes available for me to use. Some of these are default Photoshop brushes, some of them I downloaded from different websites, and some are brushes that I created for myself for my own specific needs. Now I will try to show you how you can create a brush easily. I will just use this default hard round brush, but since I'm on this pattern overlay here, when I paint it, it paints the pattern. So I create another layer and just paint these random shapes because I want to create a dirt brush. Our car looks too clean, maybe it needs some mud on its tires. I use the eraser to clean some parts. And then I use the lasso tool to go to Edit and then Define Brush Preset. I can name my brush, but I just press OK and it is saved. When I go to my brush panel, my new brush is at the bottom. I create a new layer to try my brush, but it looks awful just the way it is now. So I go to Window and open Brush Settings. First I click on Brush Tip Shape. When I increase the spacing, it starts to look better already. Then I go to Shape Dynamics to randomize settings like size, angle, roundness. This roundness jitter, size jitter means that when you increase their value, they will be more random. I also try the effects under scattering. I increase the count. When we click on texture, we see this pattern icon. From here, we can find the pattern we previously made and can use it. But I don't want to use the texture or dual brush settings. For any type of brush, the settings you will need will be different, so it is better to experiment and try each setting at least once. We can use the color dynamics. Foreground, background jitter, for example, goes between the colors you have set here on foreground and background colors. You can change hue or saturation or brightness. I also want to add transfer because it will lower the opacity of the brush and it will look more natural. And normally the control will be on pen pressure, but now I'm working with a mouse only, so you can choose fade and set it to 90%, so it will mimic pen pressure to an extent if you don't have a graphic tablet. Again, I will use the selections of my layers, but on a new layer I will use this new brush that I created with all the settings we have set. Of course, you don't need to create your own brush every time you need something custom. There are many textured brushes available, but knowing these settings will help you a lot when you want a specific effect for your brush. So that's it for our texture tutorial. Thank you for watching and hope to see you with another video soon.